Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Kemboy. All right. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion.
Chairman Lance.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move a motion that this House adopts the Lands, Environment and Natural Resources Committee report on the approval of local physical land use development plans for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot, laid on the table of this House on 4th November 2025. Honorable Speaker, the Sectoral Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources is established pursuant to provisions of Standing Order number 194 under the provisions of Standing Order, which includes investigate, inquire into, and report on all matters relating to the mandate, management, activities, administration, operations, and estimates of the assigned department. Study the program and policy objectives of department and the effectiveness of its implementation. Study and review all county legislation referred to it. Study, assess, and analyze the relative success of the department and as measured by the results obtained as compared with their stated objectives. Investigate and inquire into all matters relating to the assigned department as they may deem necessary and as may be referred to them by the County Assembly. Committee mandate. The Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources look into all matters related to the implementation of specific national policies on natural resources and environmental conservation, including soil, water, conservation, forestry, control of air pollution, public nuisance, and outdoor advertising. Committee membership. Honorable Speaker, the committee, as established, includes the following, is comprised of the following members: Honorable Silas Sum as chairperson, Honorable Raymond Chelula as the vice chairperson, Honorable Wilson Sang as member, Honorable Sarah Keino as member, Honorable John Jebet as member, Honorable Isaiah Maina, member, Honorable Gideon Gogo, member, and Honorable Matthew Sang, member. Acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, the committee acknowledges the offices of the Speaker and the Clerk for the administrative and logistical support extended to the committee to fully execute its mandate. The successful generation of this report is attributed to cordial working relationship and coordination between the various directorates and departments of the County Assembly. The committee also attributes the success of this activity to the cooperation and proper coordination between the various individual members of the County Assembly and the Secretariat. Finally, the committee appreciates the cordial working relationship with the Executive Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing, Environment and Natural Resources, and Climate Change. Affirmation and approval. We, the honorable members of the Lands, Environment and Natural Resource Committee, do hereby affix our signatures to affirm approval, confirm accuracy, validity, and authenticity and subsequently adopt the report on approval of the local physical land use development plan for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot. And as shown in page 4, the honorable members who signed the report during the committee meeting are Honorable Silas Sum, the chairperson, Honorable Raymond Chelule, the vice chair, Honorable Wilson Sang, Honorable Matthew Sang, and Honorable Gideon Kogo. Legal and regulatory framework for the physical planning. Honorable Speaker, the legal and regulatory framework for local physical and land use development planning in Kenya is comprehensive, primarily stemming from the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and a key piece of legislation that devolves significant powers to the county level. The core legal framework is as follows. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 66(1), permits the state to regulate the use of any land in the interest of land use planning, public safety, and public health. The fourth schedule faces the function of planning and development control, including land use planning, zoning, and building standards in the county governments. Article 60 establishes the principles of land policy, including equitable access to land, security of land rights, and sustainable and productive management of land resources. The legal and regulatory framework for local physical and land use development planning in Nandi County, like all counties in Kenya, is a decentralized system anchored on the National Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019 and operationalized through specific county-level instruments and legislations. This framework defines the county's authority to manage its land resources, primarily focusing on maintaining its rich agricultural character while managing urban growth. Primary statutory framework. The foundational law is the Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019, which grants the Nandi County government the following core responsibilities: preparation of special plans, development of control and zoning, regulations for change of user, the key county-specific planning instruments, which is the Nandi County Special Plan, County Integrated Development Plan, Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan, Nandi County Equitable Development Act, the enforcement and institutional structure. The day-to-day regulation is managed by the county's Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing, and Urban Development. The county physical planner, through the county physical planner, through public participation, through environmental compliance, the local physical and land use development plans. The Nandi County Executive Committee on 4th July 2025 submitted to the County Assembly local physical land use development plan for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabany, Mugundoi, and Mosoria centers for consideration by the County Assembly. The plans were prepared under the guidance of Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019 and accompanying regulations, legal notice number 248, on local physical and land use development plan, regulations number 2021. The purpose of the plans is to provide spatial framework to guide development in the above-mentioned settlements for a period of 10 years with the sole objective to guide and coordinate the provision of infrastructure and other services, regulate land use and land development, form a basis for 10-year regularization, provide a framework for sectoral coordination, planning, and programming, provide a framework to guide land valuation, and form a basis for environmental conservation and restoration. Public views and submissions. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Article number 196(1) of the Constitution, Section 87(1)(a) and (b) of the County Government Act 2012 and Section 3C and Second Schedule of the Urban Areas and Cities Act 2011, the committee invited the stakeholders and the general public to a public participation forums on 5th, 6th, and 7th of September 2025. During the public participation, the committee gathered the following recommendations from the community in the growing centers mentioned above. The recommendations fall into three main categories: infrastructure, environmental and public space, and socio-economic regulation. The core infrastructure and service recommendations. The highest priority for the residents in these growing centers is nearly always the basic infrastructure necessary for urban life and commerce, that is business. Water and sanitation master plan integration. Recommendation, demarcate and protect land for future centralized sewerage systems, treatment plants and trunk lines, especially in Mosoriot and Mugundoi due to their density. Goal, ensure the local physical land use development plans reserve sufficient public land for the expansion of the piped water networks and construction of boreholes, reservoirs to meet future demand. Road network planning and decongestion. Recommendation, clearly define and enforce road reserves and new access roads to manage traffic flow, especially around key institutions, e.g. Mosoria Teachers Training College. Goal, prioritize the construction of pedestrian walkways, non-motorized transport lanes, and drainage systems alongside all new planned roads to ensure safety and prevent property damage. Electricity and ICT utilities. Recommendations, reserve utility corridors for future fiber optic cables and electric infrastructure, e.g. substations, to facilitate organized service provisions and prevent haphazard digging. Environmental protection and public space recommendations. Given Nandi's natural environment, the public demands protection against encroachment and pollution. Riparian land protection and river cleanup. Recommendations, strictly enforce the mandated buffer zones, riparian reserves along all rivers, streams, and wetlands in all 5 centers, prohibiting graded wetlands and riverbanks, e.g. Potopoto and Cheptabach rivers. Dam site and waste management. Recommendation, designate and secure land for proper modern solid waste, facilitate local waste sorting and collection points within the planned commercial and residential areas. Recommendations, clearly earmark and protect land for essential public amenities like playgrounds, recreational parks, social halls, and modern market spaces. Goal, ensure there is a dedicated public green space easily accessible to the community in each center, e.g. Mosoriot, Mugundo, Kapsasur, etc. Socio-economic and regulatory recommendations. These recommendations focus on fairness, security, and tenure regularization. Land tenure regularization recommendations prioritize the use of the local physical plans to complete the surveying, titling, and issuance of title deeds for plots within the planned areas, which is a major concern for residents in trading centers like Kapsasur and Potopoto. Goal, resolve long-standing land disputes and secure tenure to encourage private investments and development. Zoning for residential security and stability. Recommendation, use strict zoning to separate residential areas from heavy industrial activities, noisy entertainment spots, and environmentally sensitive zones. Goal, control density in central areas to prevent unplanned high-rise housing that strains existing social services, e.g. schools and medical facilities. Protection of agricultural land, the Nandi identity. Recommendation, for the outskirts of these centers, the public would strongly recommend a clear boundary or a green belt designation to prevent the uncontrolled conversion of prime agricultural land into residential plots, thus protecting Nandi's core economic activity. Honorable Speaker, the committee resolutions and recommendations. The committee, having gone through the local physical land use development plans for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot, and having conducted public participation on the above documents and considered submissions from the public, put forward the following resolutions: that the Mosoriot local physical and land use development plan is hereby approved, subject to verification of the boundaries. Recommendation number 2, that Kapsasur Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan is hereby approved subject to verification of the boundaries. That Potopoto Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan is hereby approved subject to verification of the boundaries by the surveyors. Number 4, that Cheptabay Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan is hereby approved subject to verification of the boundaries. And lastly, that Mugundoi Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan is hereby approved subject to verification of the boundaries. Honorable Speaker, at page number 14 are the attachments which are the annexures. Annexure number 1 is the forwarding letter approval of the Local Physical Land Use Development Plan for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot. Annexure 2, notice of public participation and submission of memoranda on Local Physical Land Use Development Plans for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot. Annexure 3 is the public participation attendance registers for the said centers. And Annexure 5, minutes of the adoption by the committee, minutes of adoption of committee report on approval of the Local Physical Land Use Development Plans for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot. Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Lands appreciate the department in the executive for coming up with these physical plans so that our centers can be developed. That is the centers in the center Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot, so that it can encourage modern developments and ease congestion in those centers. So I want to take this opportunity to urge this House to approve this motion so that physical plans for these centers can be used to develop our centers. And I want to request Honorable John Geter to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I stand to second this motion on lands, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm seconding Mr. Speaker because of the good work done by the committee, Mr. Speaker, and the department. Mr. Speaker, where we come from, almost every ward we have shopping centers, which has not been done physical planning, Mr. Speaker. And we realize, Mr. Speaker, in every ward, if we could ask each one of us where they come from, Mr. Speaker, we don't have a serious physical planning that has been done, Mr. Speaker, so that as the residents or the businessmen are doing business, Mr. Speaker, we should be knowing every center in this county, Mr. Speaker, should be having a dumping site. They should be having where to put these dumps, Mr. Speaker, so that it can be collected amicably, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for example, Cheptabach, Mr. Speaker, which happens to come to be in my Chepkunyuk ward, Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy for the department, Mr. Speaker, for having done this physical planning for Cheptabach Shopping Center. But then, Mr. Speaker, we still have other centers, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, I'm seeing Mosoriot here because we are seeing Mosoriot is growing and physical planning was needed. And again, Mr. Speaker, all shopping centers in Nandi have not been changed, the change of user. Most of these centers are still sitting on agricultural land. Mr. Speaker, I should surprise you in my ward, Imaki, where most of people knows it's a big center, Mr. Speaker, now. Physical planning has not been done. It is still sitting on agricultural land. Nobody has changed from agricultural land to commercial, Mr. Speaker. If we could change, Mr. Speaker, and if the department is now serious on it, we should do it, Mr. Speaker. We do a budget on it so that we do all these centers, Mr. Speaker, so that we get good centers and development. Mr. Speaker, we attract investors if we do good physical planning. Mr. Speaker, nobody will invest in a center or a town where we don't have any physical planning. Serious investors will not do. And I also want to surprise honorable members, Mr. Speaker, that in the near future, for example, Kaiboi, people are building houses anyhow, Mr. Speaker. If we do physical planning today, most of those houses will be knocked out because they are sitting on a road or a road reserve, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is high time in this county assembly we push the department to do this physical planning for every center which exists. We had issues, Mr. Speaker, with the Honorable Karvasan, Mr. Speaker, one time because of the same issues in Sironoi. Mr. Speaker, if this physical planning will be done, all the residents and all the traders will know where they are doing business and where they are not supposed to be doing business. Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy for Cheptabach. Cheptabach, Mr. Speaker, we already have an existing water project called Kapkaititon, which is serving the same area. They will get water. But then, Mr. Speaker, and God forbid, Mr. Speaker, if we have any center in Nandi County, if we have a fire outbreak, there's no service lane. There's no service lane. And each honorable member will accept, Mr. Speaker, we don't have service lanes in these shopping centers. In behind the centers, Mr. Speaker, that is where you see all centers are being built following the road because there's no physical planning. We should do serious physical planning so that we do business, Mr. Speaker, and we assist our people to invest. And once somebody invests, Mr. Speaker, nobody should come and compromise, Mr. Speaker, that this house will be knocked because it's standing on a possible road or a service lane. If sometimes we have outbreak of fire, Mr. Speaker, we don't have any service lane. Even collecting cabbage, Mr. Speaker, there's no, behind the houses or behind the centers, the cabbages are rotting there, Mr. Speaker, because nobody will collect because there's no passage. So, Mr. Speaker, I second the motion by the Honorable Silas Sum, and I say, Mr. Speaker, let us approve it. But then, Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Land, Mr. Speaker, should call the department. We ask questions here. What about the other centers which are remaining now? Because this, it is all over. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second.
Okay. Now that the motion has been seconded, that this House adopts the Lands, Environment and Natural Resources Committee report on approval of local physical land use development plans for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot, laid on the table of the House on 4th November 2025, be discussed. Honorable Edwin Korir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion moved by the Honorable Silas Sum, Chair, Lands and Environment. Mr. Speaker, I think this is actually the right time that we ensure we do planning for our centers. Mr. Speaker, I can give you a case in point in my ward. I have a center called Underi Trading Center, which could be a time bomb, because you will realize that there is a serious disorganization. And number two, we have culprits whereby they could have sold these pieces of plots to a myriad number of people and other owners. But I think once we have the very clear plan, we should be able to ensure that our centers are actually well organized. Mr. Speaker, my worry is only that, and I would like the chair, Lance, to give in his own remarks, as he will be giving the right of reply, Mr. Speaker, as to how we are going to progress in terms of other centers, the rest of the centers. If need be, we would advise that we have at least a center per ward, so that we have that kind of organization. And we are also ready. And we are also ready, Mr. Speaker, to provide a budget for the same, to appropriate, so that we can be able to move forward. We need to be organized as a county, Mr. Speaker. I would request that, much as I support, I want to have clear communication from the chair on the way forward, so that we can also be able to do that. Otherwise, we support fully, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Ezra.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me first, Honorable Speaker, to appreciate the move of the motion, and by extension to the Committee of Lands and Natural Resources for the wonderful report on the local fiscal land use of those said particular centers. For development of any center, of Honorable Speaker, it's critical to have a plan. And they always say, if you are not planning, then you are failing to plan. In other words, when a center or a particular town is subjected to physical land use, it assists the owners of those particular plots to do their developments. In Nandi County, if you go across centers that were there since 1970-something, I have examples in Mosop and other centers, which were used by our old men in the famous cereals and other activities, which still have the old mabatis, the houses which are very old, mud houses in centers. The reason as to why the other generations have not done development in those centers is because of lack of physical planning. There is no clear demarcation of road reserves. There is no clear demarcation of other critical aspects to be used in those particular centers. This one, Honorable Speaker, will assist those particular centers to develop into the future. Just as I said by Honorable Member from Kapsimatwa, I was also thinking, what was the criteria for choosing those particular centers? I have one of them in my place called Kurgung Center. In that particular center, I have encountered a situation whereby the owners of land, the owners of those particular lands, already have children who have gone to abroad. They want to have to construct some wonderful structure. But there is no approval. There is no approval because there is no physical, there is no land physical planning. They have not done planning. They have come in 3 or 4 times trying to request for construction. Already, they are ready to do construction. But because there is no planning, they end up delaying their development. We want to request the Department of Lands, through the committee, through the chair, to fasten the process of ensuring that other centers across the 30 wards, across the county, be also subjected to the same process. We are talking of not meeting the targets of revenue. How can we meet the targets of revenue if we don't have centers which are active? We cannot rely only on Kapsabet, Mosoriot, and Andils. We cannot. We need to have our centers across our wards actively participating in revenue collection. by seeing that the markets are operational, clear places for selling their cattle, and what have you, Honorable Speaker. So this is a good step for the Department of Lands. But we still request, if they require a budget, Honorable Speaker, let us discuss it. We have our ward development fund. If a particular ward have already exhausted some of their issues, like ECDs and health centers, they can also consider having a small budget in their ward development fund to do survey, because I know it's a very expensive affair. There was a time, Honorable Speaker, they said that to do a survey for a town like Kaibui, in my place, that we share with Kabiet, it requires 10 million. My center like Kurgung, they said they require up to 4 million to do that particular survey. So it means it's an expensive affair. But I was surprised. I asked them, why is it expensive? Yet we have surveyors who are paid by the county government, who are normally called the county surveyors. If somebody is a county surveyor, that is their job to do those particular cases. And I will also request it through you, Speaker, the chair of lands, to also inquire into that particular case. You know, we need to see those surveyors participating, the Nandi County surveyors doing all those particular, and planner. We have also a county planner. All those people should be there without pay, because already they are earning the salary that is paid by the money for the wananchi. So those are some of the issues that we need to do, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I support this particular case in totality. Thank you so much.
Honorable Josephat Bait.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to contribute to this very important motion moved by our EPO chairman, Honorable Silas Sum. And for your information, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Silas Sum is a water engineer. And you know, Honorable Speaker, you cannot separate water and land. It is one thing in common, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is long overdue. We have been waiting for these centers, Honorable Speaker, to be put in order. You find Mosori, Honorable Speaker, at least because of being an education center, a business center, and so forth, Honorable Speaker, Mosori is an upcoming center. And in future, it will be a city, Honorable Speaker. And if we don't take care, it will come to overtake this Kapsapet town, Honorable Speaker. And other centers, which needs planning. You find that, Honorable Speaker, as my counterpart has said, we cannot raise enough revenue if we don't plan our centers. Looking, for example, our neighboring county was in issue, even for parking lots, parking spaces. If you go across Mulango here, you just see organization of the center. When you just cross the borderline, you will differentiate between our centers here and the other side was in issue. Why? Because they have already put measures on how to plan a center. Honorable Speaker, I want to laud the committee for lands for such a very important report, which I know it is long overdue, but we will do it. In our case, Honorable Speaker, we have a case in my ward, Sironoi Treating Center, which has, I think the case is in the court, Honorable Speaker, which I cannot talk more, because when there is a case in court, we cannot allow it to be discussed, Honorable Speaker. But in future, Honorable Speaker, we should avoid such a cases whereby the people just come and buy lands for their benefits, for their private use, instead of benefiting the community. So going forward, other centers like Kurkum, like Abisaga, like Yemuswa, which need to be also going in future, Honorable Speaker, or going forward, it needs another thorough planning. Honorable Speaker, why physical planning, Honorable Speaker? Physical planning allows the county to collect revenue. Organization of the sender in terms of dumping site, waste disposal site, car park, and so forth. Parking lots for collection of revenue. It allows the sender to be organized. You know, we are now, as Nandi, we are relying on Nandi Hills, Kapsabet, Mosoriot, no other center. We don't have any other centers. We are yearning to just cross Mulango, at least to see buildings, storage buildings in Uasin Gishu. Why? Because of planning. But let me thank the Department of Lands for thinking to put measures in these centers within our county. So let us. I think also department fail us. They should have put at least their budget so that we approve here as an honorable members. 20 million, 15 million is enough to salvage the encroached lands, the encroached roads, and various centers, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support fully with my full knowledge, body parts, and all together to make sure that this motion pass through, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Bridget. Then we will have Honorable Kagoni, then Honorable Silas.
Okay,
Kogo.
thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance to support the motion of Land, Environment and Natural Resources Committee. First, I want to thank the committee for coming up with this noble motion. First, the importance of landscaping. No, land physical, the important one is sustainable development. If we have a physical planning, it can promote sustainable development and environmental conservation. Another thing is it will reduce conflicts among the communities. We grew up in those small centers, and up to date, it has not grown. So I urge the committee, if they could do the physical planning in all the small shopping centers. One, some people have acquired those lands to be their personal use. So we didn't know even these physical centers, it is for the government. So it is good if if the Department of the Lands can go to the wards, the 30 wards, and go to those small shopping centers. Another thing, it improves livelihood. Effective planning can improve access of land, housing, and services for the local communities. So if we improve our small centers, it can attract investors from different counties. So the only thing I could urge Department of the Committee of Land, that they should go, or they should do physical planning to different small centers. Thank you.
Thank you. We can have Honorable Kagoni.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this motion on the local physical planning for the development plans for the centers that were on the motion. Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank the chair through the committee for a well thought out report and the recommendations therein to support physical planning for our centers and small towns. Honorable Speaker, because I'm from Aldai, allow me to comment a little bit because I see Mugundoi is there. Honorable Speaker, Mugundoi is a very vibrant city, or small town, but is very chaotic because of its strategic location. A lot of tea estates are there. You go in there in the afternoon, Honorable Speaker, the small town is very busy, but with serious drainage issues. So I really commend the committee for their plans that have come up with, so that as the town or the small cities grow, the small centers grow, people will know where drainage is done. You cannot have a place grow without drainage. And I really want to commend the chair for lands. Honorable Speaker, I was part of the leadership that went to Kabujo recently for the establishment of a university. We joined His Excellency the Governor to go and find out what the plans were for the establishment of a university in Kabujo. I'm really shocked Kabujo is not part of this list, Honorable Speaker, because if Mosoriot, I heard one of the honorable members speak about Mosoriot, how it's growing fast. And because of its proximity to Eldoret City, he's recommending that the city, the Mosoriot will become a city very soon because of just osmosis with the Eldoret City. If we don't get a plan for Kabujo, Honorable Speaker, and then we establish a university there without drainage, without where people will know where housing is, and we have forests there and TSS there, but it's not growing, we're going to have a very serious impact on the local community. So I want to recommend, as part of the members have said, in every ward, through the chair of lands, that at least before we can resolve as a house, before the end of the financial year, we should have a plan for every small town in every ward, so that we capture and give opportunity to all those centers. One honorable member was talking about how expensive it is. Yet, Honorable Speaker, we have county planners, we have county surveyors. How expensive can it be when these people are already on pace? And we're doing this not to benefit ourselves or to benefit them. They're already on payroll. We just need to mandate them and then do our oversight role to ensure that they do this physical planning for every small town in every ward. I have a town, Honorable Speaker, that we share with Vihiga County called Serem Market. Honorable Speaker, the Vihiga side has a plan. For us in Nandi County, today is a market day. If you go there, you will not be able to pass through the road because every person who is doing business or selling something is on the road today. They have no place to sell. The place is chaotic. But on the Vihiga side, because there is planning, they have toilets, and we don't have toilets. We don't have drainage. We don't have water. We are lacking very essential things because people have taken lands and they claim they are theirs. So if we have a plan that we can show the people there, this is where drainage will go, this is where we'll have a water point, this is where we'll have a fire lane. If a fire happens in that market, Honorable Speaker, we will be shocked because today, even the fire truck will not be able to pass just on the road because people have come all the way to the roads to sell their goods and offer services because of lack of planning. So I want to really urge the committee to move with speed, and if need be, the Honorable Chair for Budget was speaking here, Honorable Speaker, and he said we can do something on the budget so that we enhance the committee and the department to ensure that they do physical plannings in all small towns, at least in every ward, they can do one town in this financial year, Honorable Speaker. So I urge the House to support the report, as I support the report, fully support the report, because planning is the only way to succeed. And lack of planning makes Nandi County not grow. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support.
Thank you. Honorable Silas Kogo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity so that I can contribute on this motion to adopt the Lands, Environment and Natural Resources report, which has been brought before this House by our able chairman, Honorable Silas Sum. Honorable Speaker, I also want to say that the process of designing and organizing the physical layout and development of land, towns, centers, cities, and what have you, Honorable Speaker, is to ensure the orderly and growth and proper use of resources. So, Honorable Speaker, we know we have the upcoming centers, towns, and without a proper physical planning, then we'll end up in a mess, Honorable Speaker. And that's why, as we discuss this motion, Honorable Speaker, we must say that we must have special arrangements of land use and physical structures. For example, roads, we have the parks, etc. Honorable Speaker, this one will promote the health environment to live, to work, and to develop most of the structures, Honorable Speaker. So that as we do this, Honorable Speaker, we need to fast track and put in mind that without the funds, then we'll end up nowhere. But I know with the capability of the surveyors, the physical planners that we have in our country, then the fee will not be as expensive as we are saying, Honorable Speaker. So want to also urge in our words that maybe you can allocate some funds maybe in the Ward Development Fund, Honorable Speaker, so that we see this physical planning being done. For example, Honorable Speaker, in my ward, we have a center called Tabolwa, which is bordering the western side and Nandi County, Honorable Speaker. We've done our best, and I champion both for this, so that we see in the near future we have a physical plan, because it's an upcoming town that we have many things coming across on that center, Honorable Speaker. For example, there's a road that will connect the Nandi and western side, Honorable Speaker, which I know in the near future we shall have an highway on that side, Honorable Speaker. So without proper planning, then we can end up in a mess. So I want to urge that as we do this in this house, we want to ask the executive on their side to do their best. We have many centers. We have Septonok in my ward. We have Sangalo, which is, we have a very big market nowadays, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I want to urge, let each and every ward, maybe in each and every financial year, that we have funds, so that we see that the proper planning will be done. Honorable Speaker, I want to urge this house that let us support this, so that we see the work be implemented in due course. Honorable Speaker, I therefore, on behalf of the Sangalo and the people from Sangalo Keblonik Ward, that I support this motion which has been brought by Honorable Sum. I fully support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member from Sangalo Keblonik. Can I now give the chair? All right, let me give it to Honorable Isaiah Maina.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This one indeed is a...
Just a minute, so that the chairman will have the right of reply. Unless we will have a member from whose center has been privileged to be planned, but now we shall have the right of reply. Honorable Maina.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to associate myself with some of the sentiments that have already been adduced, because, as they have said, failing to plan probably is planning to fail. And if honorable members might have noted, there was indeed recently a competitiveness report which was looking at all the counties and seeking to rank them according to how competitive they are in terms of probably attracting investment and other things. Nandi had 27% and was somewhere so low. I think probably this can be explained by what some of the honorable members have already indicated. about lack of so many things. Of course, Honorable Speaker, that is not excusable. It is not even necessarily that a plan should exist for toilets to be there. So, honestly speaking, if we have things that are called shopping centers and townships and what have you, and markets, which do not right now have toilets, then those markets should be closed. Because we have the public health officers who should already be looking at that, because that's fairly dangerous. But I would like to say, Honorable Speaker, that yes, it is important to have plans with a view to optimize. It's to optimize the use of the resources. It is not necessarily a revenue-seeking measure. It is not a revenue-seeking measure. We want to organize our society. Maybe as you organize, then you can get revenue. The problem is for you to look for revenue without seeking to have the organization. And that's why we would have the plans, but in paper. But when it comes to implementing, then that becomes a serious issue, because you have achieved what you're looking for. You wanted to have revenue, but you are not necessarily interested in optimizing the use of the resources. So I think, and I would like to call on this House, Honorable Speaker, to probably take a keener look, even at the department. Because I have heard members saying that we have officers. When we were having the ad hoc committee here, Honorable Speaker, the defunct ad hoc committee that was looking at the general performance of the county government, I think it became very apparent that there were certain serious discrepancies when it comes to the physical planning department. You recall here that the CEC then was unable to explain how he had supposedly employed somebody from the national government. He had issued a letter of employment to someone. These are matters that are not necessarily mute, Honorable Speaker, because they are not mute, because we did not finalize. I remember, other than the fact that one member jumped somewhere and somehow there was a lot of chaos around, this issue was never resolved. And I am still told that such officers continue to exist. And that because this person, the CEC, had promised that they would get a substantive officer, physical planner. To date, I hear, Honorable Speaker, that all the applications, the applicants, that it was non-responsive. So I'm calling on this House to take up their oversight role and allow it to be real oversight. As I have said, and as I end, Honorable Speaker, oversight can mean two things. Unfortunately, the same word means two things, that you either do not see or you see. So I'm asking this House to see these things and bring accountability on the government, because otherwise we will just become a conveyor belt where we seek to do certain things, and when you go around you find that really nothing exists in terms of being put in place. So, Honorable Speaker, I thank my chair for coming up with this idea and looking at the spirit of the members who have contributed so far. Clearly, we require to have all the places to be planned. It cannot just be Potopoto alone, it cannot be Mosoriot alone, it cannot be these few places, it must be everywhere. And it should have been done yesterday. So let's proceed on and demand that this is done, that we have plans, and that these plans are put in place. I would like to end by highlighting to this House that I have in my ward a township, actually, Koilot, was planned to be a town. But as time has gone, things have changed. So slowly, something that was already very well organized, complete with all amenities and facilities for, and even spaces for certain things, there has been changes and change of views. So you find that probably there was a piece of land for something that probably our people do not like to think about, a cemetery. But now it's been converted to something else. You find there was a place to have some, maybe go downs. This has been converted to a church. Because they just applied and said, okay, let's have change of user. And now, so in the place where there was supposed to be business, now you have, it belongs to a church. And other things. So I'm calling on this House also to look at that. Let's also look at the plans that already exist and see how it is that the government is working on it to ensure that we have a planned county so that we can be competitive. At the end of the day, we want to be competitive. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support this, and let's move forward and have more of this to be done.
Thank you, Honorable Maina, for the contribution. And I just want to remind you also, and you are aware of this, that you are a member of this committee. You've raised a lot of concerns. Perhaps you can help the House by trying to address them within the committee. And perhaps also, I realize that among the signatures, your signature was not appended. But the quorum is okay.
Honorable Speaker, considering that you are the chair, you are just an arbiter, I didn't realize that you are a commentator on what happens to the House.
Thank you.
I would like to indicate, I would like to seek the protection, Honorable Speaker, because you are not a commentator. I thought you are just a chair. You are arbitering about, maybe other members can say it, the people who are here.
You are out
Thank
of
you,
order.
Honorable Speaker.
You made your contributions. So we can have a right of reply.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. And let me take this opportunity to appreciate the comprehensive contributions by honorable members to this motion. Honorable Speaker, failing to plan is indirectly planning to fail. That's why we have this report. That is planning our centers. I appreciate the contributions by members and the request for the department and the committee to increase other centers that needs planning. For example, in Kaptel Kamoiwa, the center called Sironoi needs to be planned. Again, Chemuso needs to be planned. Again, Gurgung needs to be planned. And I wonder how a center in Mosop missed, because the centers that have been planned now, like Potopoto is in Tinderet, Kapsasur is in Mkwen, Cheptabaj in Nandils, Mugundo in Aldai, and Mosoriat in Chesumei. Kapsasur is also in Chesumei. So it is worrying that no center has a plan from Mosop. And maybe going into the future, Honorable Speaker, I want to encourage honorable members to give in their proposals for the centers that they see needs to be planned so that we can forward to the department for action to be taken. Like my word, Honorable Speaker, when I was coming to this assembly today, I was called by a member requesting for the physical planning for Kabisaga Center. And let me take this opportunity to say that I will forward as one of the necessary centers that needs planning. And also Cheptil Center in Kabisaga Ward, and also Maraba in Dindiret needs a physical plan. and several others, Honorable Speaker. So I take this opportunity to thank honorable members who have contributed positively to this motion. Let us adopt it, and so that action can be taken for the physical plans to be prepared for several centers. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chair. So, I now put the question that this House adopts the Lands, Environment and Natural Resources Committee report on approval of local physical land use, development plans for Kapsasur, Potopoto, Cheptabach, Mugundoi, and Mosoriot, laid on the table of this House on 4th November 2020. Next order.
Order number 9, adjournment.
So, honorable members, there being no other request on order paper, the House is adjourned until 2:30 p.m. this afternoon.